Yeah. Guess who's back in the mother house? What's good, folks? We're live. Ringside Club Business, RSC Business, Dynamic Duo Business. It's the producers show tonight. That's what we're doing. We are now live on YouTube, plus live on I think one of my Twitters. Testing something out real quick. Let's hit the retweets and let the people tap in. What's good, Buck? How you feeling tonight, man?
I'm good, man. Chilling. Just been getting a lot of work done. Having to own a home and maintain it. A lot bigger undertaking than you think sometimes. So, been having to take care of some stuff. I'm an old man mowing lawns and swearing at my neighbors and, just loving life. How about you, man?
Work on work, man. In my shoot life, for those of y'all who know what a pitch process is in advertising, that's been my life for the last couple of weeks. So that's why I'm having an adult beverage tonight. But
I hear that.
Otherwise, and even including that, I don't have a complaint in the world, man. Everything is cool.
Word.
Everything is cool.
I'm saying, for everybody out there, prayers up for Mama Bug. You know what I'm saying? She got some interesting stuff going on. Keep your hands together for my triple OG, my mom. She's the shit. But yeah, other than that, man, I'm just kicking it, cooling. We had a lot of cool wrestling happening, a lot of different things going on in the industry. We're gonna discuss some fun stuff tonight, stuff that caught our interest.
Absolutely. All right, folks. We're tweeted out. We're live on YouTube. So let's get this show started. But if you're familiar with what it is that we do, you already know that there is a show before the show, and it is called The Survey Time. And I don't have my notes up in front of me, so Bug, what is today's survey?
Got it. So if you could pick any woman, any promotion, to be Willow Nightingale's first defense for the NJPW Strong Championship, who would it be?
I'm going with a rematch from earlier this year. I'm going with Athena, who's the current ROH Women's Champion. Earlier tonight, Ring of Honor literally just went off and had a banger against Kiera Hogan, and they got a nice little angle and program going. But a champ match where you have a champion, brand new champion, Willow Nightingale, to try to get her win back, and maybe with that belt on the line, she becomes a double champ. So a rematch against Athena, I'm booking it tomorrow. I'm booking it yesterday.
I like that. Since you already took a real good one, I'd like to see her fight Thunder Rosa. I think they'd have a great match together. I think they beat the shit out of each other on live television, and that would be pretty awesome to see.
That's a fact. Yeah, man, looking forward to Thunder Rosa coming back to television, and just like that, I'm looking forward to this show starting. Let's get it popping.
Peace to the gods, the Ringside Club Pod. My name is A.O. Say you're the Ron and Don. Blame Boogie while you at it, blame Chad Law. K-Fabe is dead, break the fourth wall. Whatever style, whether it's lucha or strong style. Come through the venue, fly, burn the bar down. Back to the pad, chop it up for the pod. Ringside Club, intro to the squad as the show starts.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Peace, 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 peace to the gods. Of course, peace to the earths. Boys, girls, children of all ages. It is us. It is we. It is the mightiest.
Back.
Hey,
We're back.
back. The mightiest of the mighty. Usually the best four-man booth in the game, but tonight the dynamic duo, the producers episode, if you will. The RSC, the Ringside Club. Now, I haven't been here in a week. The fellas held it down last week for the prediction spectacular. But this week, Ron and Chad are both out on assignment. Peace to both of those gentlemen. You never know with Chad, though. He might pop up. 5 minutes left to go. A little running, a little money in the bank action.
Yeah.
But peace to the fellas.
Yes,
We're holding it down.
They're out doing house shows right now. We don't really know where they're
Hitting
at.
that house show loop.
they're doing something for the people. So they might not
Yeah,
be here
yeah.
live on the internet with us, but they're putting smiles on faces somewhere else. And that's all that fucking
Absolutely.
matters.
Absolutely. So peace to the gods. But yeah, you're chilling with the both of us tonight. Before we introduce ourselves, let's introduce y'all who may not know what the Ringside Club is, to where you can find all of the information about the Ringside Club. And that is at theringsideclub.com. All of the shows are right there, the pictures, the events, all of the social media right there. If you want to tap in, you can subscribe. All of the video, first and foremost, every Thursday night, 9:05 live sometimes. We are live right here on YouTube. You can tap in, and if you want to catch us on demand, YouTube, subscribe. Audio is on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and everywhere else that podcasts are available. Plus, you can check us out on social media. I don't know what that happened. We're on Instagram. We're on Instagram, TikTok, and of course, live tweeting up a storm every time there's an event or a televised journey going on over there on Twitter. So make sure you follow. You can tell a friend, they'll tell a friend, and you can tap in with us.
Yeah.
Now,
Why not?
third episode in a row that I don't have my drops. Now, that means I have to check out what exactly is going on with my system. But I am not a champ. I came up short during the prediction, so the champ is not here.
Word.
But I am indeed AO, so peace to me. What's good, bub?
I unfortunately am still me. So I don't know if you're looking for anything different, but surprise, I'm here. But Blame Boogie on all socials except for That's a Lie on Twitter. I'm Blamesworthy. I don't know. I really don't care. I don't want you to follow me, but I do care that you support content creators everywhere because we have a hard job, man. And so salute to all the content creators out there.
Yeah, that is a fact. That is a fact. Peace to like all of the writers and the different strikes that are going on or were going on. Like, get your bread. I put a video out some years back, I think before the pandemic, and it says something along the lines of, get your money because these motherfuckers are not going to find a way to pay you. You know what I mean? Do what you got to do. So
Absolutely.
peace to everybody out there making a living off of using their brain for creative endeavors.
Absolutely.
It's not easy, but somebody got to do it.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, man. So it's a lot going on in pro wrestling. I guess like this is usually the news segment, and obviously the biggest news. It's been rumored for quite some time. All of the dirt sheets have been talking about it, but Tony Khan officially confirmed last night the Punk is back and will be back on June 17th for the first edition of AEW Collision.
That's right.
I'm just happy that we're finally done with the rumors and we can just worry about what's on the TV screen, you know?
Yep. Cletus Matthews Punk is back, and we're all excited about it. So, no, but seriously, though, pretty excited, happy he's back. To be honest with you, I just like eventful wrestling. It's always fun when it's eventful and meaningful and polar and all the fun things that make competitive sports or sports entertainment worthwhile. So, yeah, whether you're a heel by choice or a heel because the people truly don't like you, you're on deck, brother, and we can't wait to see what you got on deck for us. So, CM Punk
Absolutely.
is back.
And I think like the coolest thing, just judging by whether there's going to be an actual hard roster split, soft roster split, a lot of the names that we've mentioned, people that we want to see what they're up to, like your Andrades and your Miros, and then people that we've been vouching for and rooting for, like your Powerhouse Hobbs. FTR is obviously the tag champs, but another show where they'll probably be focused on. Thunder Rosa's on that poster. There's a lot of other names that may not be on that poster, but you're probably going to see coming up. And that, to me, is the most exciting thing is, like, as far as, like, talent-wise, this roster is so stacked and so talented. It's like the problem that WWE had a few years ago before AEW was a thing where there's, like, too much talent and you're wondering why these people aren't focused on. So now we have another primetime show, live show, weekly show to see – somebody like I think Santana, for instance, is somebody that we haven't seen, and he's been healing up. But I'd love to see where he's at in his career right now. Him pop back up. There's
Shouts
so many
out
names.
to Rock Marcy, right? But like a Rock Marcy beat, okay. A lot of the beats without the drums, just that real, you know what I mean, that looped up, whatever. You know what it is that eerie feeling. I think I could consider that to be, just like a little bit of iambic pentameter. There's been a lot of freedom. When there's not drums on a record, you could kind of take it in a different
Yeah.
a different approach,
Multiple
because
pockets.
you're not held in a certain lane, right? I do think that AEW is in need of a drum track, and I think that this is their drum track. We have to have more concerned efforts so that you can see the focus be on these talented individuals instead of, even though it's been working, we like it, we love it. Some people love the weekly, week to week booking versus the continuation of storylines and things like that. But we're starting to see storylines come into AEW, so I'm just excited to see what's about to happen. But I do think we're moving towards that direction where fans like myself that are looking for that thread, that constant thread to be there throughout, these different products and what we're seeing on different channels. I think we're gonna finally start seeing that. So even if we don't, I'm excited for what's ahead. And yeah, Collision, baby. We'll see what goes on June 17th.
Yo, prime example of a nice thread. We had that Double or Nothing pay-per-view, and we had the Battle Royal where Orange Cassidy is in the ring last with Swerve and Big Bill and my man from Best Friends, Trent Beretta.
Yep.
So the last three people in the ring, they now have a match. Swerve Strickland is the winner of that match, and then he comes out later when his boys are having a tag team match against Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin. And now he's eyeing him, and you see Sting come out. Like there's so many. There's a lot of threads going on. Plus, we're in a what's different for AEW most of the time is that we're in a very short window before the next pay-per-view. And even though it's like a New Japan collab, they still have to get right to these stories or whatever the stories are going to be to get people to buy the pay-per-views. I think it's just about sold out, but to actually buy the pay-per-views, like you got to get these feuds and figure out what the card is going to be in like 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. Yep. You know what I mean? So there's a lot going on, but I love it. I love it. Like this is, I think like there were a lot of complaints and a lot of people that felt a way about what AEW was doing really the last two pay-per-view cycles. It wasn't their best. And I think that was like probably there's your peaks. That was probably their valley. And I think with the lineup of things that are going on with the new show, All In and All Out, and Punk coming back, plus the video game is coming out, there's a lot of momentum and a lot of money coming in. You know what I mean? So
you also got to realize there's going to automatically be buyer's remorse because AEW didn't miss for pay-per-views for like a solid 3 years. You know what I mean? They were just the pay-per-views were all fire. So it's like we got what we wanted out of every pay-per-view except for, I think this was on live TV, but the exploding, match.
Oh, the barbed wire death match. Yeah. Which was messed up because like the match was dope until that. But it's like, the ending is what people are going to remember.
I mean, we got an exploding super kick the other night, so God bless.
That was so strange. Yeah, what were your overall? Unexpected. It was strange. It was unexpected. It was one of them things where if it was like at the end of the match or did more damage, it would have made more sense. But it was like the most random. Like, fuck it. This is what you felt like doing. Cool.
Yeah,
like at the end of the day, it's just sparkle.
If you were to give me two super kicks and then I'm getting up and I'm booging up, brother. I'm booging up, and I'm about to make my comeback. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, peace to Boog for saying I'm booging up. That shit is not gonna die now.
I'm booging up, brother. But no, if you were to hit me with that third super kick, and that's when the explosion came out. All right, I'm feeling that. That's some video game shit. It's like you just hit some combo super power shit, and I just got hit with the, you know what I mean? So now I'm out. You know what I mean? There's no way I come back from that. But just to have that in the middle of everything, I guess it's whatever. That's me splitting hairs, though. I will say I was entertained by the entire pay-per-view. I did fall asleep during that match. I'm not going to lie. I'm an old man, and I'm probably part-time narcoleptic, but we'll figure that out. But yeah, I mean, I was entertained by the whole pay-per-view this time around, so it just is what it is. There's going to be people that like stuff, people that don't like stuff.
Exactly. Like, there's people that are just going to cry that the sky is falling all the time, and I'm watching the pay-per-view. I watched it twice. I'm like, this wasn't their best by a long shot, but it's still pretty good. Like, their standard is so high that when they don't make that, people are going to say that this is like the worst thing ever. And it's like, there's some dope spots on there. For instance, like, how did you feel about the Jade Cargill Taya Valkyrie match and outcome?
I loved it. I loved the way it turned out, and the reason being because I was saying Jade's been stale for a real long time because of the fact that she's been so unbeatable, and so I don't know. I'm not happy that Jade lost. don't get it twisted. I love Jade. I'm a Jade fan. I'm happy that we got a break from the norm, which is Jade Cargill squash matches. No one has put up a
Right.
formidable defense, to Jade Cargill. So the fact that Taya Valkyrie did, we went a little further than maybe we normally would in a match with Jade, and then ultimately Jade won the match. We're strutting our feathers, we're puffing our chest out, we're calling out whoever we want to call out, and we got surprised and we lost. So to me, that's amazing wrestling. That's a callback to days of the past when this has happened before. When you call your shot, you say, hey, whoever's in the back right now,
Yeah.
get out here. I just beat the shit out of this chick.
Feeling
man.
yourself.
I'm about to knock you out. Whoever you are, I'm
Yeah.
about to knock you out. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. So Jade, 60-1. Honestly, I'm clapping
Hell
it
of a
up.
run.
That's
Hell of a
That's
run.
not a horrible statistic. You lost one match. God bless. Now let's see what happens with her in the AEW Women's Championship, because I'd like to see her in that picture, because it would be
100%.
fun to see.
I loved it. Like, for one, I think that was probably Jay's best match, I think.
Yeah.
Like the first match that she had with Taya was a little clunky. And I'm like, this is also the first time that first of all, we've seen 61 matches at this point, televised Jade matches.
Yep.
How many more matches do you think she's actually had? So she's still, getting her feet or whatever. But the first match that they had was also probably a little clunky because it was the first time that they had a match together.
Word.
So
They
this
probably had
second,
no chance to even rehearse.
exactly,
It's just
exactly.
like, get out there.
No rehearsal. It was like, this is what I'm thinking of doing, and let's
Yeah.
fucking figure it out.
Yep.
But I thought it was a really dope match, and there was some things that I don't remember seeing from Jay. Like, for instance, the springboard, whatever the move was going to be, a springboard from Jay is like, shit. Like, you're a big person to be doing a springboard. Usually we see the luchadors do that.
Yep.
So that was impressive. And then to get the return of Statlander,
Yeah.
immediately
Fans
come
love.
out, loved it. You know what I mean? And again, like, people were saying, just reading a couple comments, this came out of nowhere. It really didn't, because, like you mentioned, this is Jade's character right now. I've been winning and beating everybody by such a wide margin that I'm feeling myself. She did this already on Rampage. I know for a fact at least once where she called. She had a match, won that match easily, called another person out, won that easily, called another person out, and had 3 matches back to back, and then that was Taya's return to set the match up at the pay-per-view. So there was precedence for that. You know what I mean? So this is just like, you kind of a little too cocky for your britches. Plus, you have bad representation with Mark Sterling, who's giving you advice to do things you probably shouldn't be doing.
Janky
You know what I mean?
promoter.
Exactly. So it's built in. That's a built-in face turn right there.
Yep.
She'll be off for a little bit, then she'll come back. She'll kick him to the curb, and then she'll set her sights on whatever the next level up of competition is for her, because she wants to be in that women's championship picture. Or she may even want to get the TBS title back, because she'll feel as though that's rightfully her title. But Statlander would have had a run by then, and she was, kind of cooking and shit. So I loved it.
It was dope.
Yeah.
I was a fan.
What was let me pull the card up. What was your highlight or favorite match from Double or Nothing?
My favorite match from Double or Nothing.
Let's see. We had it definitely wasn't the pre-show joint.
Nah.
The Battle Royal was a fire battle royal. I love the ending for that.
Good match.
We had the Battle Royal. We had Adam Cole versus Jericho.
Yep.
We had FTR versus Jay and Jeff.
Yep.
This is Ricky Starks. He got jumped backstage. Wardlow against Christian Cage with the ladder match.
Yep.
Jamie Hayter, Tony Storm, which really wasn't much of a match because we all know Jamie Hayter is injured.
Kind of
House of Black versus The Acclaimed and Daddy Ass.
The very left field. Yep.
The aforementioned Jade Cargill versus Taya Valkyrie. MJF versus, the 4-way.
It's pretty good. I'm an FTR mark, so I'm always going to say FTR's got the best match on the pay-per-view unless somebody really, really takes it out of there. I think the storyline for me with Mark and that duality of his friendship between himself and Jay Lethal and himself and FTR, I think that's a beautiful story that's still not done being told. So
Right.
I feel like that was the believe it or not, the story that had the most meat on the bone for me. Even though I do know that the four pillars conversation has been ongoing for years, and it's a great idea. It's a great concept. I don't want to say they didn't deliver, but I don't think I was sold on the idea of this whole four pillar thing as much as I just enjoyed the match itself. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
I think
just
that's what
a
it
pretty
was.
good match. Yeah.
I think the match was a good effort. I think I might have mentioned this before. I think Tony Khan was like pressure
Same
testing.
person. They're best friends.
Yeah,
If you saw the
exactly,
media scrum, they're like the same person. They're right here.
Exactly. Tony Khan is the women's champion.
Yes, 100%. No question.
I think Tony Khan was like pressure testing these guys. Like pillars or not, like you have a lot of other people that have been like Orange Cassidy could be considered a pillar. You know what I mean?
Yep.
There's a lot of people that could be Hangman Page.
Yep.
I think he was pressure testing these guys. At some point, it's like sink or swim. Let's see what you have. If you feel, because you don't know what kind of conversations happen backstage. Sammy and Darby and Jungle Boy could be in Tony's ear all the time. Yo, give me a shot. I want to do this. I want to do that. I bet. Go.
Yep.
I think the lead up to this was a pressure test from the sense of like, you can carry a match, but can you guys carry like a whole program to build and get people? And I don't think that it worked as good as maybe people thought in the beginning, but I think it was good for them to actually get that experience of a main event program under their belt, done and over with. I think Darby Allin probably came out the best out of the other three, but all in all, like, it was what it was, but the match was incredible. I thought there were a lot of intelligent spots. I thought the spot of Darby Allin trying to hit the coffin drop and MJF putting the belt, sneaking the belt on top of who was that he pinned? Jungle Boy? Whoever he pinned, doesn't matter. Was like brilliant. Brilliant. You know what I mean? And MJF being that guy that just like figures out a way to not do as much as his opponent and still win is perfect.
Yeah, he's the new, shouts out to Triple H, the cerebral assassin. He's just doing his thing. You know
Smartest guy in the room.
Yeah, it's just, you don't got to be the biggest, you don't got to be the fastest, you don't got to be the Bianca Belair.
EST.
You just gotta work.
Just gotta find out a way to remain the champ.
Yeah, let everybody else paddle until it gets to the last quarter mile. Then you can pick up an oar and do your thing. But it is what it is, man. I really appreciated that. I will say that it just stuck out of my mind because I laughed my ass off when I saw this. I can't lie. It's the funniest thing I think I saw in the last I don't even know how many months. Besides when Dave LaGreca did the LaGreca lean and he like half jumped off the stage and he just like fell on people. When Sabu came out and jumped off that top turnbuckle. Listen, honestly, I don't know if I was drunk. I don't know if this really happened. But I swear to God, it looked like he jumped on Adam Cole, like he was not supposed to. Like he broke the table on Adam Cole, and for a moment, I just enjoyed if that was reality. I didn't even get a chance to play it back if it was, but for a moment, I just sat back and I said, you know what? If this did really happen, this is the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. So I don't want to believe it didn't happen. Therefore, it did.
It's so on brand.
Yeah,
it is so on brand for Sabu.
He is
like fuck it, I came out, I'm hitting somebody.
His pose, like if he's not gonna do anything else, he's hitting his pose.
Yo, 30 seconds, he hit 3 joints.
Yo, he's in, he's out.
Like he came out, he said, "All right." Then they introduced him. This is Sabu. He said, "I bet." Then he got to the ring. He said,
he hit it again.
He hit it again.
Yo, I'm still here.
His music
still
was like
here.
The music was still on the whole time. The music was still going.
Yo, man. Honestly, there's nothing.
I hit that
between
shit when
him.
I'm making eggs.
Word between him and like the WWE legends. Like I just love when legends come out and it's just it's like all bets are off. This segment might go off the rails.
Yeah, Flair's the man for that.
100%.
Like Flair with a live mic is like, hey man, we might be on a 45-second delay, but still,
make sure you get that delay ready.
Flair don't give a fuck. And then of course there was the main event, the batshit crazy not Stadium Stampede, what you call it? Anarchy in the Arena.
Anarchy in the Arena, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
People
Peace to
bled.
everybody. Yeah, there was some blood. There was some violence. Laughed my ass off when Cesaro swung. It was one of the Jacksons, He was out in the corridor and hit the swing and threw him into the trash can. Died, bro.
Yeah, Cesaro's too strong. I loved when the thumbtacks were on his bare foot. I'm like, yo, these guys are literally losing their minds right now. That is painful. I don't care. The gimmick all you want. That shit hurts.
Yo, if nothing else, the Elite, and I'll throw Cody Rhodes in this also because he was part of that crew that set this shit up. He set himself on fire for applause. You got Matt Jackson, who's like, he's taking an atomic drop, feet first, bare ass feet first on the thumbtacks. I'm not doing that shit.
Yo, didn't Cody take the burns on the way out too? Like on the exit,
Yeah.
He was on his way out, and he
he took the burns, and he might have been out of here in the next month.
Damn, bro, that's dedication.
Cody's nuts.
He is.
Cody's nuts.
You can kind of tell.
Yeah, he's out of his fucking mind.
Yeah, you can just take a look at him and be like, all right, this guy might be a little, you know what I mean?
Right. Anybody with a tattoo that damn ugly on their neck is nuts.
Ugh, I can't talk about it.
Word up. So that was double enough, and I guess it's probably time to get into topics. I ain't really have no news. Or we could do prepped and cooked. We could do prepped and cooked.
Yeah, we can have a little conversation there. You know, you want to start? I don't mind it.
Yeah, my I don't even know if I got a prepped. I have a cooked, and I tend to just in theory try to stay away from. First of all, this is the segment where I always disagree with everybody.
And we always throw the disclaimer that we are not speaking about these people as people. We're not speaking about these people as how they're doing their jobs. This is always
Shabby
about
on
the
here.
booking.
Like, think about to get the pink slip.
Yeah, this is always about the booking and how they're being used. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
But the other thing is, like, even with that being said, I think that there's so much. It's creative first, right? So you can say that somebody is cooked this week, and then the very next episode that they're on, something dope happens, and then they jumping out of the frying pan and shit. So I always try to kind of go left as far as like different aspects of wrestling that I think are cooked. And this week, I don't have a prep cooked, and this might be a side segment that I do going forward, or I don't know. Just wrestling fans that speak about a lot of shit that they really don't know about, which is 99% of the things that we all talk about. Like, we know, I've said this a billion times, what happens if we're watching Dynamite, for instance. We know what goes on between 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock. Everything else is hearsay, even if it's reported by reputable reporters like a Sean Ross Sapp or a Dave Meltzer. It's still secondhand or third-hand information by the time it comes to us. I wasn't backstage to talk to anybody. So the last couple of months, there's been a lot of chit-chat about AEW. I don't know what kind of moves they're making. They're losing steam. They're losing momentum. They're going out of business. They're going to fail. This is going on the 5th year. They're going to be out of here. Wrestling fans don't know what the fuck they're talking about, because in that same time, they got the All Access show. Then they got greenlit for Collision. There's a deal that all of their content is now exclusive to WBD, which means at some point there's more money, if not already more money. Even with the pay-per-views, this build sucks. These shows suck. I saw last night's rating, which was 920 or above 920,000, whatever, which is back in that comfortable pocket that they've been in at some of their best shows. And then the early numbers for the pay-per-view, the build sucks. The build sucks is equal with last year's Double or Nothing.
Right.
So the bottom line is that we know what we like and dislike, and we chit-chat about it and, give our opinions. But wrestling fans, please leave the business to the business people. Leave the booking to the people that book, the creative to the people that create, and just worry about being a fan.
Yeah, word.
And this has been my TED Talk.
And at the end of the day, we all get over-opinionated verbally. You could be opinionated in your mind. It's a wonderful thing. But we all get over-opinionated verbally or on social media because we feel something to be right? Like, you go to your favorite pizza spot because you like the way the pizza is. So if you all of a sudden see the recipe changed, you're going to be like, what the fuck are you doing to my pizza here, man? I've been coming here for years. This is what I eat. I think we have just grown accustomed to be so verbal about it because we all have a platform. Yeah. And the platform is so widespread and so instant that even if it was a thought that you had temporarily in passing, and it really didn't mean that much to you. You've now etched it in stone because it's on the internet, and you can't really take that stuff back. You can, but you can't. So it's like, once you think a thought, it's in your mind. But when you tweet a thought, it's everywhere. So I think all of us might need to just scale back. Myself as well, I get really charged up. Listen, if WWE does some stupid shit, I'm the first one to be like, what the fuck, man? If AEW does some stupid shit, I'm the first one to be like, what the fuck? But I don't fault the wrestlers ever. I always call out the business itself. I'm like, what are you guys doing? And then I will say, not 9 times out of 10, because I can't give them that much credit, but there's a good amount of the time that if I just sat back and waited, what they did that night that made me say, what the fuck, ended up making sense at some point.
At some point.
It just didn't make sense from what I thought it was going to be. So,
which is cool. Like that's part of the ride. Like that's the fun is like we make predictions. We do prediction shows before every pay-per-view, but if we were all four right all of the time, how boring would that be?
When we were kids, we used to sit in the car, depending on where you're from. Some people who came up in the city, their experience wasn't in a car very much. But, for me, I have the experience of, are we there yet? Are we there yet? So when you ask, are we there yet all the time, it causes you to pay attention to where you're going and what's going on. But if you really think you know where you're going, you don't care if you're there yet. So then when you're disappointed, when you find out you're not going where you thought you were going, you're a wrestling fan. And that's it.
And you missed out on the ride.
Right.
And you missed out on the ride. But yeah, that's my cooked for this week. It's just like, bro, there's so many takes and people that have podcasts and tweets and shit like that, and it's like sometimes it's cool to just be a fan and talk about what you watched and enjoy the story. That's it.
My cooked this week was CM Punk haters, and it's not because I'm some pro CM Punk lover, and I've even told you guys I checked out from professional wrestling during most of his prominence. I stopped watching pro wrestling when I graduated high school and got back into it in like 2014, 2015. So I took a good chunk of time off to develop my career and do some other things. And I just watched Breaking Bad and The Office instead. It was just my thing. But I say that to say, where was I going with this? Oh, yes. So mine was the CM Punk haters. It's like, for better or for worse, whether you hate the guy, you love the guy, your opinion could be your opinion, but your opinion didn't stop him from being rehired. Your opinion didn't stop him from going back on a poster and being brandished as the guy again, So maybe your opinion isn't the best. Maybe you could tuck it away a little bit and just see how this plays out. Whether you love him or you hate him, I grew up a Red Sox fan. I have a lot of friends that are Yankee fans, and it was so much fun to have that competitive tension between us.
Right.
That whenever you see each other, it doesn't even have to be baseball season. You could just be like, fuck you. No, fuck you. You know what I mean? No, you know what? Fuck you, actually. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that idea, just that concept is fun in nature. I think we lose the fun when you think that you're actually on the team and what your opinion matters. And that goes for politics. It goes for everything.
Bruh.
People have lost their fucking mind, and they think that if they have a sticker on the back of their car that has a blue line that goes across it, all of a sudden they're a cop now. No, listen, we all need to stop this crazy radical fanship or fandom, whatever you want to call it, and just kind of realize that the entertainers are here to entertain us. We're on the other side of the fence. We can give our opinion, but none of us are fucking Siskel and Ebert. We do this because we love wrestling. We're bored. We're grown nerds, and we love to talk about this shit. We're not doing it because we want to sway any of your opinions or think that our opinions are better than yours. We just truly enjoy talking to each other about this, and so we made a platform for people that want to watch and listen to grown wrestling nerds talk about what they love, man. That's it.
Coolest thing about this show is being able to have conversations with other wrestling fans about wrestling, because that's how I became a fan.
Right.
Like kindergarten, I was a fan of wrestling because there was one of my classmates, peace to Ace, my man Ace. We were only sitting next to each other because of the alphabetical order that our names were in. And other than that, I may not have ever been a wrestling fan, right? But it was cool just because you like this thing, I like this thing, let's talk about it. That's why that worked and how I became a fan. That's why this podcast was started and why all four of us are friends now, and
Yeah.
the platform to be able to share that and chop it up with other people out in the world that do the same thing. But there was a line from a freestyle put out a couple years ago. If the Knicks win a chip, I never say that we did it, right? The Knicks won a championship, but I can't call James Dolan right now at all. Like, yo, James, what up? I need, blah, 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 or what's good? You can come through. I don't know Jim Dolan. I don't know anybody on the team. I'm a fan. I buy a ticket. I watch a game. I've watched enough basketball at this point in my life that I can say, oh, that was a good play or a bad play. But when the game is over, the game is over. I'm not on the team. And some people take this so personally. You have people that have clear biases, which for whatever reason crosses the line sometimes into like weirdo behavior, because it's like, if you really don't like this thing that much, why are you even bothering to watch it? But then the other part of me,
fan riots at like sporting events and people actually dying.
It's crazy. Like, it's crazy in
shit.
soccer. It's crazy in soccer. Like, over in England, they have like gangs that are just based around what team you root for. It's like Bloods and Crips, except that it's just I'm over here and I root for Arsenal, and you're over there and you root for fucking Manchester United or something like that. You know what I mean? But it gets nuts. So some of y'all just need to dial it back. I also am smart enough to realize that y'all have realized that you're trying to get clicks, so it's polarizing. So let's do the Republican Democrat thing. But I digress.
Yeah,
y'all be chill.
I'm out of there.
Yeah,
I'm out of there.
Be chill.
As soon as I see
chill.
the telltale sign of someone trying to engage in an argument, I'm like, oh shit, yeah, nah, I'm out of here. Like, I don't want to.
And it's not even like a good faith argument sometimes. Like, I don't mind a good healthy debate, but when somebody is saying something so outlandish, it's just like, you're just trying to get some likes, retweets, so somebody could check your pod out. That's all that's about.
Yeah, you're just bored.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's really it. I mean, honestly, for prepped and stuff like that, I think who to have. I have Mustafa Ali. The only reason why I have him as prepped, and again, this is just because of the booking, I guess, if you want to call it that. But with him, it might be deeper, and I apologize. I know we gave the disclaimer, but I don't know if the fans like this guy, dude. They've tried so many different things now. I just don't know. And I don't know if you saw. I know you mentioned you didn't really get to catch too much NXT, but he popped up.
I did see him pop up. Yeah, I did see him pop up, which I think is kind of dope. Like, I don't know if he's been calling for it or if that was like the direction given to him. But the cool thing about NXT in theory is that this is a chance where you can go and try. You have more freedom, I guess, to try some things that you may not have been able to try.
It's like the special character, like in a video game. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like it's not necessarily a regression for someone to go from the main roster to NXT, even if it's for a short stint. Or even if it's for a long one, doesn't really matter. You're still like a special character that has now just entered the game. You kind of got the star in Mario type thing. Like, you're not just a regular character on the same level as everybody else. So I do like that for him. I just think in the minds of the people on the main roster and the fan base that's up there paying attention to it, I don't know if we're in there anymore. I'm not speaking for everybody, but I'm at least checked out from that storyline for now. I'd have to see, something different to really know what's going on there. But you got a pretty big topic this week, so why don't you take it away, my friend?
We are at the halfway point, just about, of 2023. Today, as we record this and as we are live, this is June 1st, 2023. So it's pretty interesting to think about. First of all, it's crazy to think that we're already in June. This year's flying.
Yeah, go on.
But there's a lot of things, obviously, that have happened this year. A lot of matches, a lot of segments, a lot of moves. So my topic this week was about who or what are some of the best wrestlers, moments, matches that just stood out to you so far. If you want to go the route of saying like my MVPs so far, or my most improved, or whatever way you want to approach it. But it was kind of like that thing, like a progress report so far before we get to the end of the year and give the best wrestlers of the year and whatever the list is, or the matches of the year. I'm not sure, for starters, that I've seen a better match yet than Ospreay and Okada and Omega at Wrestle Kingdom this year. That one-on-one match that they had at Wrestle Kingdom. I think my MVP, though, might be Orange Cassidy. Like, it'd be very easy to say Roman Reigns because he's definitely the highest profile and he's killing it in his role, obviously. But for a title that nobody wanted, that was the Atlantic Championship. Because remember, they debuted the Atlantic Championship when everybody was still waiting for that Trios Championship. And it was like, this isn't what we wanted. When they unveiled it, I was like, what are we doing here? From that to a random rebrand to this international title, which I thought was a better name and overall a better fit, but still, that came out of nowhere
Beautiful championship
at the
though.
time. It looks
Yep.
gorgeous, too.
Yeah.
I think at this point, if you include the Battle Royal, he's at like 22, 23 defenses, and every match is dope, and they're all different. And even within having different matches, he's still able to do his thing, and he's elevating the title, but he's also elevating himself to be like must-see TV.
Yeah.
So he's on that list for me, and his reign is obviously still going. He has a match with Swerve next week. And I, just judging off of what they were able to do at the end of that Battle Royal, am really, really looking forward to that match because their chemistry is nuts. Like, they've had one-on-one matches before on Dynamite and on TV, but I think Swerve is in a different place now. Swerve is looking a little bit bigger, too. Like, he's putting on some muscle. And, again, like, Orange Cassidy is cooking right now.
Yeah.
Another name that stands out to me as far as, like, MVPs is Dominic Mysterio, to be honest. Because when you talk about people that nobody saw, even if you want to put most improved or whatever you want to put next to his name, a year ago or a year and a half ago, nobody was looking forward to a Dominic Mysterio segment whatsoever. And now you fast forward and it's unmissable. Like, it's can't miss because he's like a Sammy Guevara in a way where he's so hateable. You know, the boos are loud, whether they're piped in or not. There are people that are really, really viciously, aggressively booing this dude every time he pops up in the ring. And he feeds into that, and he does a hell of a job. You know, playing off of Rhea as well, who's another one of my MVPs, who elevated herself. You know, for somebody who was like a great prospect to somebody who is also like just personality speaks so loud now, which is what you need to be able to sell tickets and get people to buy into your shit. So those are a couple of names. I'm gonna probably come up with a couple more. But who's some people that stood out to you this year so far?
I'm gonna honestly keep it Judgment Day for a second and say your boy Punishment.
Hell, Punishment.
Honestly,
Pause.
yeah, Damian Priest has surprised the fuck out of me as far as how he's gotten over and how much he's been able to command the crowd and not just be a wrestler, but really go in there and make a difference to a segment. So I appreciate that. And that's going to lead me to my next, and that's Bad Bunny, man. Fucking, I'm going to clap again. Why not? Yo, I don't listen to the guy's music. I'm not here for that. He came into my world, you know, which is what I love, which is wrestling, and he impressed the shit out of me there. Nothing but respect for that dude. You know what I mean? But I think my number one, I'm not going to lie, has to be Seth Rollins. And the reason why I say that is not because of the championship and all because of, if you've been on the ride of his character arc from beginning to now, he has literally been thrown the shittiest booking, the best booking, some of the coolest matches, been given really hard situations, unwinnable situations. And he's gotten over with the crowd almost every single time in some way, shape, or form. Even when they've tried to make him a complete heel, the crowd still loves this guy, and they bring him back over the other side of the line. So I think right now, say what you will about how many belts and all that stuff and what's going on, I think he's a very deserved champion, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And
for sure.
I think that he's been pulling his weight for a real long time. So if we're talking about people that earn their stripes, it's gotta be him. I'm also really proud of Bobby Lashley coming out of his shell and being more of what they've been asking him to do. Give us personality, Bobby. Do something different. You know, don't just be Bobby Lashley. Be a star. You know what I mean? Like, good for you. You've been doing a lot more. You haven't had a mouthpiece. It's just you. So shouts out to Bobby Lashley. Who else really stood out to me? I will say, as far as the women go altogether, I've been far more interested in women's wrestling this year than I ever have been. So I feel like all the women, shouts out to them because they've been doing a better job of getting my attention. And I don't know if that's booking or just the fact that they've been put in a position to get our attention because they haven't been able to
Yeah.
before.
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly when the talent is there, they just need the stage. So when they get the
Yeah.
stage and then they deliver, boom.
Man, I will say a real big highlight for me was going to a live event and sitting ringside for the first time in my life. So just for me, that's been my highlight for the halfway point, being able to experience that even as a 30, almost 40-year-old man, and you still feel like a kid. I feel like I went right back to the age I was when I was way up in the nosebleeds, wishing I was down there. And I'm like, yeah, all right, kid, I got this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm here now. So it was a really cool situation. So I feel like the more people feel like that, fans coming back to wrestling, people paying for this stuff instead of stealing it, and just everybody really making wrestling a thriving, I guess, business and entity and sect of entertainment, whatever you want to call it. I think it's still set up for a good future, man. We thought this thing was going to fizzle out not too long ago. It was getting really oversaturated and stuff was really weird. And even with Vince still seemingly at the helm, pun intended, I think we've been able to appreciate the product without worrying about what's going on behind the scenes, which is a big deal. Yeah. So I think overall, shouts out to all the companies too. I mean, the halfway point, there's been some really bad booking. Cornette would say lazy booking. There's been some really great booking though too. So, shouts out to all these people who have been, and even Snoop, man. Matter of fact, Snoop, I got to shout out Snoop because of what he did at WrestleMania. I know someone probably was in his ear, told him to do something, but the fact that if you were watching it live,
he's such a natural born entertainer that it looked seamless.
Crazy. Like, to be on that stage with that many people and just be like, I know what I'm going to do. All right, let me just go in here and do this.
People's elbow and put my shit on it too. A little sauce on it.
Yeah, this is the Snoop elbow. This ain't the people's elbow.
Yeah.
He did his thing. I think
doggy style elbow is crazy.
It's been a very entertaining year thus far, and it doesn't look like it's going to get any less entertaining with what's going on right now. Never thought I'd see it be this fast, because when MJF started talking about the bidding war of 24, I saw it as such a distant date.
It's flying. We're already halfway through.
Yeah,
we're flying. Because even after the pay-per-view, he's saying, I think the segment or promo that they ran on Dynamite was, you guys are running out of time. And I'm thinking about it. I'm like, yeah. 2024 is 2 blinks away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We're there.
But you mentioned the women earlier, and I wanted to highlight 4 specific women. Mm-hmm. Athena is doing, like, when you talk about MVPs, period, by the time we get to the end of the year, like, she's on my list now, and I see no reason why she wouldn't be on my list by the end of the year. She's doing some of my favorite work, and it's amazing to see just her so comfortable in this heel character. It's so natural. Like, the commentators tonight, Ian Riccaboni and Caprice Coleman, were saying, like, it's like fighting 3 people, because you have the wrestler who's technically good, you have the fighter, and then you have the person with fighting spirit who's just tough and just wants to outwill you.
She's a fucking pit bull.
You know what I mean?
And I hope that's not offensive, but she literally is, yo.
Yeah.
She, like, I've never seen her breaking out of her shell since being out of WWE has been amazing. It's just good to see, So.
And I'm not familiar, because I know she was using the Athena name before she got there, so I'm not familiar with exactly what her character was or what direction she was going in before she went to WWE. But when she was, what was her name there in WWE? I'm drawing a crazy thing.
Ember Moon.
Ember Moon and Athena are literally night and day.
They're not the same person.
It's not the same. Like, she was one of my people that I rooted for, because I could see that there was talent and athleticism there, and I always thought that her finisher was so creative, like the stunner off of the top rope. Yep. But she's on a different level. So, props to her. Shouts to Mercedes for taking that leap,
Yep.
and Trinity as well for taking that leap and saying, look, basically we ain't being disrespected anymore.
Yeah.
And we're going to go out and carve our own path and do our own thing. And thus far, both of them have been successful. Like even with Mercedes' injury, hopefully she gets better soon. But outside of that, when you look at the run that she's had when she's came out, the only reason that New Japan Strong Women's Championship exists is because like it was made for Mercedes and she was supposed to win that match. But take nothing away from Willow, obviously, but like she's doing numbers for New Japan. I think she's on her second deal at this point with New Japan because they see the value. She was one of the most coveted free agents, and as long as there's a contract to be signed, I see no reason why there's not going to be. And then the same thing with Trinity. Like she's doing her thing over there in Impact, and she's on had a couple of dope matches so far. And I really think it's dope for her to work in a different system because even way longer than Mercedes, she was in that WWE system, and it just for whatever reason didn't click for her. But the talent and the athleticism was there. So those two, and then fourth is Willow. Yeah. We mentioned Willow in the open. I just mentioned Willow as far as being the one to take that title. Regardless of what the story is, the record book showed that the first ever New Japan Strong Women's Champion will forever be Willow Nightingale. Yeah. And even before that, we saw there were so many people. Like she's one of the. I saw somebody was just saying like on Twitter there was a question like wrestlers that nobody can say anything bad about. Like you don't dislike them. She's one of them. Like Big E is one
about her too. She could have came directly to AEW and been that new kid that comes to school and is popular automatically, right? She came to AEW and people are like, you know what I mean? People started catching on. I think real, in hip hop, we have true heads. I feel like wrestling true heads seen it and they were like, we see what's going on here,
Yeah.
But I think there's some promise here.
Real rap.
If you got a chance to see her at any indie shows, you saw it there too. But I think the fact that she had to come in and really earn her stripes, and she did fight to be where she is, and she's in a position now where she can have reputable, respectable matches that on a card, if you see her name, it's going to be good. That's dope. You know what I mean?
Looking forward to him.
She did have that one little hiccup where I think somebody got hurt when was it Anna Jay?
Oh, it was like a power bomb off of the stage or something like that.
Some weird shit happened.
Which was like so overblown, I thought. Like
it was.
All right, they missed a table, but yeah, like this it's so cliche, but this ain't ballet. Shit happens.
Exactly.
You know
what I mean? But the fact that she's earned it is just super, super dope, man. It's good to see.
And earned it by remaining herself. You know what I'm saying? That's the coolest shit.
That's what I meant to say. You could tell she's even on AEW with RJ City, who I fucking love. Guy's hysterical.
Word.
If you don't do anything, I don't care. I'm spreading love out here. If you don't do anything, please watch RJ City on AEW and follow his feed. He reminds me of like one of my aunts who just like watched a whole bunch of television and knows a bunch of like amazing, like the guy's a bevy of like vintage television like knowledge. Yeah. Like if you had to phone a friend, that would be the guy. Pay attention to RJ City, guy's hilarious. Anyway, but yeah, I just feel like when she was on that show, you could just tell she's herself. She's happy. She says most of the time she's smiley. She's not just like putting on an act. She just genuinely enjoys.
Yeah, that's her.
Enjoys shit for what it is, and that's good to have people like that around because there's so many like miserable people out there. So why not have somebody that's not that all the time?
Yeah.
Word.
So yeah, like those are my just names off of the top. Like if I had a little bit more time, and we're in June, so we could probably do different segments that are similar to this for the rest of the month. It's still halftime, but those are the names that kind of stood out to me so far. But there's a lot of people that are killing it. A lot of tag teams that are killing it. There's just a lot that's going on right now. And again, like I'm really, really excited for the next month or so of shows that we're getting. But
yeah,
word up.
Yes, sir. I guess that takes me to my topic this week, which this was sparked by a few things, but we've seen the return of a few people in wrestling lately, and the ability to, I guess, garner a reaction from the fans, whether good or bad, is always a good thing. It's like, if you're extruding emotions from people, whether they're again positive or negative towards you, it means people feel some type of way. It's not like you just walked in the room and there was nobody there.
Right.
So that in wrestling just, is always a good thing. It always leads to great results. We've seen Christian Cage literally come out and just be just completely like, if the fans would not get arrested, because we do live in a world where people are a little more cautious. They don't want to go to jail these days, at least at these sporting events. I'm almost certain people would be throwing things at him. Like, he's just like, he gets that kind of heat. And that's what my topic is, which is, being able to tell the difference between real heat and just people not liking the direction of your character, your booking, or your execution of your theatrical performance. Some of this stuff just looks so hokey and isn't even there on an acting level. Fuck wrestling. I'm just talking about the acting of it all, the act that you're putting on, whatever you're putting into this segment that I'm supposed to feel a type of way about. I'm supposed to come back off of this with some sort of understanding of what has just transpired on my screen. When you don't execute that properly, it's just like, people don't like that. And sometimes you go stale. We talk about who's prepped, who's cooked. So I think it's just kind of, my topic this week is just kind of knowing the difference. What do you think about some of the people that are able to really garner, I guess, genuine emotions in the way of heat, not good ones, from the fans? Like, you walk out and you're immediately hated. I mean, we saw Don Callis. I don't know if you watched
Absolutely,
Dynamite, but literally the craziest thing I've seen. If that was not piped in noise, which I don't think it was, but if that was not piped in noise, I haven't heard that type of hate. The boos, even at like a high school rivalry, like football game where people lose
that was
their
amazing.
minds, like it was great. It was great.
That was amazing. I was listening to a couple of pods, and some people
and I
that were there.
apologize too. I just want to say it's like allergies 1, me 0 right now. So,
oh, bro, I feel you.
My nose is killing me. I'm sorry.
No, I feel you. I feel you. This shit had me out like Friday. I was on wild Benadryl. Yep. Just some people that were saying, like, I either had a friend or I was in the audience, and whatever y'all heard on TV was legit. It was loud as fuck in there. People were booing. That's heat, because there's no reason, there's no dirt right now on Don Callis.
No.
There's no rumor. There's nothing that just came out. There's no, oh shit, he said what? Let's try to cancel him, whatever. None of that is happening. So this is all storyline. This is all Don. And you know what they did that was so smart?
Babyface. I think people genuinely love Kenny without him being a babyface or a heel. They just love Kenny. So it's like,
I think Kenny is. It's just, it's a couple of things. Like, we've seen you go to bat, and this has been, again, like, slow build. This has been a slow build and a slow thread, because bringing Takeshita in and that whole thing was questionable, and Kenny's looking at him sideways
for a while.
Yeah. But it's all a nice thread. But one of the genius things they did, and they did this in NXT with Ciampa before he got his theme song, was have him come out to nothing. There is no music. There's nothing for people to get up to and sing along to. There's nothing. You got Tony Schiavone in the ring. He set it up beautifully. He's like, this person, human piece of garbage who's bringing up the bile into my mouth, Don Callis. And Takeshita set the stage right there. Then there's no music that hits. So then he walks out, and he's got this strut. His chest is out, and he looks like a South Park character. I saw somebody say he looks like a Lego character. He's like one of those little Lego joints. But they set it up so beautiful. Yeah. They set it up so beautiful. And then there's the part of, like you mentioned earlier, Kenny is so beloved. He's one of the founding people of AEW. He's one of the most talented wrestlers. He's obviously a nerd. He's the guy who's the creative director for the video game on the AEW side. Finally getting this AEW video game, shit like that. He's a beloved figure.
And you have this person. If anyone has a Japanese fan base,
100%, 1,000%. There's people that argue, and they rightfully so would argue, that his best work has still been in New Japan, even after all of the dope shit that he's done in AEW. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Speaks fluent Japanese, and he's also intelligent enough. Wild sidebar, but he speaks fluent Japanese, and when he was a heel in Japan, he didn't speak Japanese on purpose. Everybody knew that he could speak it, but he didn't speak it on purpose. He spoke English because they couldn't understand it, majority of them. You know what I mean? So on purpose, just to fuck with them. Like, so this is the caliber of people that are putting this, whatever this storyline is, together. But you see, like, Don Callis next to Omega for so long, and then that treacherous, turn of events
Invisible
that happened.
hand.
Yeah, exactly.
He's
It
always
was
been
good.
cheating to win, and then boom.
Yeah, so good. It's so good. And then there's like the understanding that, like, within the storyline, this wasn't anything that Kenny did to you that caused this. This was a plan, and this was a leech needs a host.
Yep.
And Don Callis, not me, maybe he doesn't agree with the direction that Kenny wanted to take his career. I don't want you to fuck with the Young Bucks. I get less money when the pie gets broken up with more people. I need you to go back to being the cleaner, solo, go after the title. Nah, I want to do my trios thing. All right, bet. I got a plan. Takeshita. He's the next you. He's bigger than you, stronger than you, younger than you, and he's going to take you out for me because I'm a leech and I need a new host. Beautiful. So, yeah, he's killing it. You mentioned Christian. A couple weeks ago, he had a wild ass segment where he was talking and it was just wild booze. I think the difference is, like, somebody, and not to shit on him, but like Austin Theory just ain't connecting. No. So if he gets booed, it's really not for anything that he did. And for me, the biggest thing is when there's not even booze, it's just silence. Like, over means an emotional connection. So if you're getting booze, oftentimes it's the reaction that you want. Same thing with being cheered. It's not about a move sometimes. It's about, I connect with you. I fuck with you. I root for you. I want to see you win. Or I want to see you lose. When you don't get a reaction, that's
scary.
You're not over at that point.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I would add to that list. I would say that Roman Reigns has gone over into that territory. He didn't start there.
Right.
People hated. I think people hated him because
Perfect
they didn't
example. Best
want
example.
to like him.
Yeah.
They didn't like him at all, and I mean that from a likability standpoint, not from a heel standpoint. They didn't like him being forced on us. Now look at him; he's the top dog for real. Like, he's literally on top of shit. So Roman Reigns would be there. I would say that, another heel that is just a dastardly heel, no matter what. It is definitely going to be MJF, but he does have that side to him where I feel like, and I could be wrong, but I do feel like he still wants to be loved. Like, I get that feeling from him. That
I do too, but I think that's, even if it's legit,
part of it.
Yeah, exactly. Even if it's legit, even if he really does want to be loved,
that's the bait.
I think that plays into his insecurity so much that he's just willing to go way further than you should want to go to look good in front of people. So he's going to play it off as though, like, I don't care, blah, blah, blah. But he's going to go an extra mile and say the extra thing and blah, blah, blah. Like, when they had when he had the feud with Punk, and, they built that feud around a picture, which was cool, of the two of them.
Right.
He's a kid at an autograph signing. And they built that around of, like, the insecurities, and I needed you then, and you're the reason when you left and you decided to do your thing, and you left me as a wrestling fan who looked at you as your hero. That was my villain arc story. That's when the seed was planted. Like, it's shit like that. It's the insecurities that I think really helps him as a heel,
Right. Absolutely. And so, I just think that there's examples of the other, and I don't want to call anybody out, but I do feel like there's pretty good examples of, when shit isn't connecting, and Trish Stratus is a legend, but there was a segment recently, and I don't know if it's just because the crowd wasn't into it or what was going on, or if it was an example of what we're saying, but she was out there on the microphone right before Night of Champions, kind of trying to pump up the match between herself and Becky, and I mean, you could hear a mouse sweeping the floor in the grandstands,
Right.
So it was like, I don't know what's going on or what it is, but I do feel like, in many ways, as much as I will get upset in the moment, I feel like both promotions, meaning WWE and AEW, are not tone deaf to it. At least they do see when this is happening. They try and shift things around, make some things happen. But there is sometimes when they don't listen to the positive reactions and steamroll through that. And I think a great example of that is Will Hobbs. Exactly.
Read your mind.
Dog. I mean, the guy was being sold to us as his real life story. What happened to him when he was younger, all the hardship he was going through, was about to be the biggest baby face in the world, literally, because he's fucking humongous. But he was about to be the the biggest baby face in the company, and then out of nowhere, without any warning, he's a heel. Like what?
Yeah. A heel partnered up with QT Marshall.
Like where
I
did
don't
that
know
come from? Like
why.
for what? What served?
Yeah.
What purpose did that serve? So we lost so many people in that. So I think again, here we are. We were just talking about wrestling fans and their opinions and how we pick things apart and why can't we just like the match and say fuck it? Why are we so worried about the booking and the business and all this stuff? And I think it's just because when it comes to something that's right there, it's like if like you watch a TV show and we whatever, it's like someone's looking for something. It might be a contest or whatever it is, some kind of fucking scavenger hunt or some shit, and you're looking at the person do this thing, and you could tell that the thing that they're trying to get is right there, and they just don't see it. That's the way I think it makes us feel when we see the potential. We know what's possible, the direction that it could have gone, the direction that it made us all naturally feel it was going, and then for it to just stop, it just gets a little weird. But yeah, I think great examples of people that are able to get heat in the modern and what's going on right now are the people that we mentioned. They're doing a great job. I don't see a whole lot of people doing it otherwise. Bully Ray, obviously. I mean, as soon as the guy gets on a microphone, people are like, oh my God, who's he going to offend today?
Yeah.
In the past, there was amazing people that did this as well. Like the whole shtick of coming out and insulting someone's town, that happened first somewhere. That's not something that was made up recently. So, it's like there's a certain format to this, being a true heel that garners heat that you can follow if you pay attention to who does it, and you're able to effectively do it that way. But
I'll give you one that's not working right now. Jericho and Adam Cole.
oh man,
Jericho is
I'm
the heel.
so tuned out.
Yeah, Jericho is the heel. And this last Dynamite, when they had the mixed tag match, which was a cool match, and I thought it was definitely better than what they did on at the pay-per-view.
Pay-per-view? Yeah.
Yeah, because like the chemistry wasn't there, and I was like Adam Cole again. He's just coming back from, so he's getting his feet wet. I couldn't imagine, sidebar, some of the side effects that he was saying came with the concussions, and then getting back in the ring, like how much anxiety he probably is going through and shit. But I digress. It's not working because this past Wednesday, it sounded like there were more people rooting for Jericho to beat Adam Cole than the other way around, and that's not what you want. You know what I'm saying? And I was waiting for because Chad's been mentioning this is probably gonna go until fucking August, go throughout the summer, and my argument was gonna be, aside from not wanting to see this go that long, I don't know if they can afford that, because by the time this program, if the program goes that long, you're gonna have to turn Cole again. Yeah. Like Jericho can go away and come back and whatever. He can do whatever he wants to do. Adam Cole is still a person who, outside of Ring of Honor and NXT, really hasn't been a top guy yet. And I was saying for the longest that he's probably the babyface that comes back and he's going to be the guy to beat MJF for the title. And just this program by itself is like, I don't know, man. You know what I mean?
I'm almost certain
I'm
now
not sure.
that our next AEW champion will more than likely be Bryan Danielson before it's Adam Cole.
I was gonna say Omega.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Omega. But like I'm still gonna say Adam Cole, only because I thought that's where they were going anyway. And as long as they have a smart pivot in mind to get him out of this Jericho storyline, because like for whatever reason, part of it has to do with, it's like the Sammy Guevara Ty Conti effect. It's like a functional relationship just isn't good, like television. There's no drama here. So you got people with, public displays of affection and shit. Like Britt Baker. Britt Baker is a natural heel.
Right.
For one.
We don't want to see you be lovey at all, ever.
Right. So, the whole thing with, but the other part is like, for whatever reason, is just like, I don't know if Adam, if maybe the offense wasn't believable during the match, the hardcore match at the pay-per-view. I don't know what it was, but it's just not connecting the way that I think they intended it to connect.
I think the good thing about a guy like MJF, and something that makes this maybe a lot easier to transition from and to, is the fact that you don't need to go that deep with a guy like that because of his personality.
Yeah, he's just a
And
dick.
not in
very
a
easy
cheesy
to
way
dislike him.
either.
Yeah.
You can literally just have Adam Cole be walking in the back, and accidentally bump into MJF, and there's the beginning of the feud right there, just because he bumped into him. That's it.
Yeah.
So it's like you don't really need to do too much there, but I do agree that the Jericho Cole thing is a little stale for me. I'm not really into it.
It's not working. It's not working. Like, they tried. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt as far as, like, when they ran the angle of Adam Cole being handcuffed to the ring and Jericho conducting traffic and the Outcast coming out and beating up Britt Baker, it was a good effort for sure. And then from that point on, it just wasn't anything else that they did that really hit to build on that. It was like that was the crescendo of the feud, and everything else has kind of been downhill from there. And this past Wednesday was, maybe salvaging that to end on a little bit higher of a note than the pay-per-view. But, and not for nothing, the Outcasts, because Tony Storm is the new champ, are kind of like now, like, verified as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Like, it was shaky from jump with them.
I wasn't into that either for a minute.
Yeah, and now, like, she as the champ, super credible. It gives them a little bit of like, respect as far as, like, you guys are going out and talking all this shit about how you were overlooked and you come from over there and blah blah blah. Now you got the belt. Now you have bragging rights.
This might be a conversation too, though. I don't know if I'm off here. If I am, forgive me. But the people who have been getting in the ring with Jericho lately are not getting the rub they used to get. So I'm a little nervous for Saraya being with Jericho right now. I don't really know how that's going to go. But it's going to be interesting to see.
I'd have to go back and look at, because I've heard that, but I haven't really looked. I got to look at what these feuds were.
Right.
Because, like, Jericho is like a checkpoint to me. I don't know if Jericho is at the point that he's getting anybody over anymore.
Right.
I think he's a checkpoint, though. I think he's like, if you're supposed to be the guy, let's see you in the ring with an established main eventer before we put you in the main event.
Got it.
And I think it's that. I think there's a nuance there. Like, I think there's a difference. I don't think Jericho, Cole's already over, so I don't think he's making him. Like, Action Andretti, for instance, when he got the win over Jericho, I think that could have made him. I just don't think they had a plan for him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't know that there was enough meat on that bone, pause, for anybody to really, like, buy into what Action Andretti was as a character. Mm-hmm. But he doesn't really wrestle a lot of guys that are on their way up. He's wrestling, like, these are matches that he's having with people at, Ricky Starks, for instance. I don't know, like, if Ricky Starks lost anything because he had the thing with Jericho. I just think that was maybe a bad follow-up after that Jericho feud. So it's interesting, but I've heard that a couple of times, and I gotta go back and check that out. But yeah,
for sure,
very interesting.
Yeah, man. I think a lot of interesting stuff going on. I mean,
facts.
We had a 2-man booth episode today.
Yeah.
So I think we accomplished great things.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have anything else you wanted to cover, but if not, we could kind of get into an exit survey.
You got one?
I have a fun topic. I mean, why not?
Let's do it.
Since why not hit my fucking music?
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? It's really AO's music, but you know what I'm saying? It's all of our music now. It becomes
ours.
Music. Yes. Now that we're seeing the bloodline kind of get shaken up at its core, do we see anyone from outside the WWE that is of Samoan descent and even possibly part of this family coming in to make this even stickier than it was before in a shifty situation? Or are we just looking at just a complete crumbling of the bloodline from its core from within and nothing else going on to shake it up?
Damn, I think the biggest name would be Jacob Fatu.
I would love to see it.
Love it. But I think this is the end right now, or the beginning of the end, or the crumbling. I'm not sure if we bring anybody in. I think that this feud is probably like he has beef with both of the Usos now, specifically Jimmy, and then it'll eventually be Jay, and we'll figure that shit out. Solo is always in the cut. So I think the cool thing is that they're going to bring some of the elders back. Like, I think Rikishi pops up, you know, and I think you want to talk about heat. All you got to do is have Roman snuff Rikishi from behind for disrespecting the tribal chief.
Yeah.
Booed out of the building.
Yeah, people will literally never like that guy
Out of the
ever
building.
Again.
And that's like the Usos pops and Solo's pops. So like that could be something that, Alpha, Sika, they came out and crowned him before. So there's different things you could do like that. But yeah, like as far as wrestlers, I'm not sure. Like Jacob Fatu would be really, really dope. I have no reason to believe that that's going to happen.
Nah, me either. I think he just signed that contract with MLW.
Got a long joint with them
too. So I think he's solidified. But it's fun to play devil's advocate and play with these things. I think I would love to see a situation where Roman's down and out. He's finally lost his cousins. He's lost, everybody. He's got nothing going on. And, he's about to be completely defeated. And who comes in but Jacob Fatu? And now it's either Roman and Jacob Fatu running with each other, or you could kick him while he's down and Jacob Fatu take it over and saying, all right, you're really out of here, bro. Get out of here. Take some time off.
Tell you something. I wouldn't mind seeing Jacob Fatu versus Solo Sikoa.
That would be fire.
That'd be
two
fire.
brawlers. Hell yeah.
Samoan street fight shit.
Is.
Yes, sir.
www.therinsideclub.com, where you will find all of our interesting shit, bullshit, and other kind of shit. If Ron was here, he'd tell you to cop the coffee, cop the hats. If Chad was here, he'd probably be saying a bunch of stuff that I disagreed with, including the fact that he's the champ. Actually, something we didn't mention, I don't think we even know who the champ is right now. We have to do an official recount.
It's held in abeyance right now.
But when Ron comes back, we'll count it all up. Math's not my
We're going to do a ladder match. Yeah, we got you and Ron got to climb the ladder.
That's fine. I'm down. But, got to go home. But you got to get the fuck out of here because we're all done. And we appreciate you checking us out. And continue to watch pro wrestling. And continue to be involved, invested. And it'll continue thriving. So you guys have a great rest of your week. We're out of here.
That's a fact. Peace.